This time on Flipping Bangers.
It starts with an idea.
Classic, iconic British sports car.
Under £1,000.
How are we going to find that?
Which kicks off a challenge. Take what is possibly the country's worst MGF
And suddenly,
and turn it into a country's best.
our great plans come undone.
I've got a terrible sinking feeling about this car.
Oh, that is hilarious. 250.
I couldn't let it go as little as that.
Stop pouring out from under here.
That looks like exactly what we want.
That is no good.
Day 5 and it's the worst it's looked.
Oh, this is absolute madness. We've said goodbye to our day jobs and invested our own hard-earned cash as we try and make it in the cutthroat world of second-hand cars.
You've got to buy well, but you've got to sell well.
We have a goal.
We need to double our money. If we put 500 quid in, we need to see £1,000 back. But we're forced to the very bottom of the market.
We buy cars that nobody else wants.
Who else would buy that car?
Can we keep our business afloat, Flipping Bangers?
There's so many things to do to this car.
We've turned our backs on our regular jobs and attempted to carve out a new living by buying and selling cheap cars.
Evicted from our previous workshop by angry neighbours, Will has sorted us out with a new base, and apart from having no working toilet, it feels like home.
We've raided our bank accounts, and this time we have enough to invest around £500 to £1,500 on each car.
It's time to go hunting, and the new, slightly damp caravan is where we start the journey.
Do you want to do some work?
I am working. I'm currently thinking and forming a thought.
While you formulate that thought, do you want to throw some names of cars out? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Tell you how far I have got.
OK.
I want something which is fast, British, and the sort of thing that when we drive this around, people go, yeah, look at that.
OK. So, first of all, I'm just thinking iconic British sports car. I'm thinking MGB, but A, we've done that, and B, you said fast, didn't you?
I did.
Spitfire, but oh, hang on, we've done that, and oh, you said fast.
Yes.
What about V6 Capri or a Mantra or TVR Wedge?
No, I don't think we've quite got that in the budget. A few hundred quid, under £1,000.
Yeah, well, how are we going to find that? Don't think there is anything like that.
We agree to a race. Who will find something good first? With our thumbs worn out from phone scrolling, it's now time to hit the road and follow up the leads we have. But which one of us has found a car?
I got exactly what you wanted. I got a car that is, on the face of it, relatively unattractive. It's up for spares or repairs, but it's from a main dealer, and he took it in part exchange and he just wants to get rid of it.
Not making it sound very appealing.
Two-seater, quite zippy, and I think you're going to like the badge.
Tell me now, put me out of my misery.
MGF.
MGF. MGF.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, look, mate, don't get me wrong. It was a very popular car in its day. It just didn't have the cachet
No.
of any of the other MG.
And we need to make money, so we really need to look at cars that aren't in the limelight. And this ticks the boxes.
How much?
At the moment, on bids, £250, and nobody has bid on it.
Well, that's a very cheap car.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I'm relatively excited, but I wouldn't say I was completely
No.
over the moon.
Well, let's wait till we see it. It might be beautiful.
It might be.
The MGF seller Pete is a dealer in modern-ish cars, and immediately we see why the project MGF does not fit his stock at all.
Oh, come on. Great British classic.
It looks it, yeah.
While the seller finishes something, we're free to look the MGF over alone.
I can see you're excited. It's better than you thought, isn't it?
Don't get too excited.
It's got a couple of dings on the wing here.
The suspension is heroically low on this side.
Well, they're all like that, sir.
Is that true?
It's part of the maintenance, wasn't it? You had to pump them up, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
But look at this. This is the original paint, and this has held up brilliantly well, hasn't it?
Apart from that nasty end over there.
Yeah, that worries me a bit, whether that's ever going to come back to being the same colour as the rest of the car. That's
tell you
always
what.
going to taint it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, I'll give it a little rub, but it looks like it'll polish up.
You reckon?
But it is a slightly different colour to the rest of the car.
Yeah, that is going to be a thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Although the plastics have gone the same. Door handle on this side's the same. Mm-hmm. The wheels are brilliant. On this side, they've not been scuffed at all.
Yeah, they're passable on this side. Roof, however...
Yeah, but look, there's no crease across the back window, and they were all creased, weren't they?
Well, I bet it's because it's been stretched, because it's been sat around a long time.
Hasn't been anywhere, has it?
Definitely got an issue here. Oops, Gus.
Don't break it.
That wasn't me, it was like that already.
Yeah, that was clearly you. But look at this.
Do you remember them being this good inside? They're beautiful, aren't they? Proper plush, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a bit of a tear on this side, but that literally is wear and tear. Seems to have the keys in the ignition as well. Give it a little go.
Yeah, let's see.
Right.
Don't break it, though.
This could be the bit where it all goes horribly wrong, Gus. Oh, hold on.
Well, you don't know how to operate it.
Yeah, but... No, on its side, at least the immobiliser works. No.
And it lives! Ooh, one cylinder,
but
two cylinders?
Not very much.
Ah, Pete,
Hi.
it was his idea.
It's okay.
He saw the keys in it.
I couldn't resist it.
I think it might be running out of petrol, actually. It's a little bit low. It's probably evaporated.
But the engine sounds fine.
It's not bad, is it, for something that's been sat around?
I'm genuinely excited about this. I know I shouldn't say that, but you walk up to it, your first impression is, well, it's so much better than it was built. Spares or repairs?
It is. It's a bit of tinker time for somebody to get back on the road. It doesn't really want much. I know it's a little bit faded.
Classic MG, though, isn't it? Tinkering, that's what they were all about, isn't
Classic
it?
British sports car.
Exactly that.
A little bit of polishing.
What's the story with the bonnet?
When it's in its younger years, it had a small front end shunt, and so this has all been painted, which is why it's faded. It's been sat in all weathers for the last 6 or 7 years.
Has it?
Yeah, just round the corner there's a big moss patch where it was.
Is there? Seems a shame to take it away.
It'd be really nice, to see it back on the road, because it's worthy of it.
Be a bit apprehensive about buying it without giving it a little test drive.
It's been off the road a long time. There's no MOT on it.
Ah. Okay.
Maybe we could performance test it around the courtyard, could we?
Yeah, of course you can. Fill your boots, I'll leave you to it.
Excellent, thank you.
Nice idea, Gus. We suspected the MGF might need some fuel, and we came prepared. So we gather our spare clean petrol and take the roof down because we're sun in the hair kind of guys. But can we get the MGF to run?
Right, moment of truth.
Yes. I have all of my fingers crossed.
Don't go too crazy.
What could possibly go wrong, Gus? It's time to hit the car park. There we go.
Is that it?
Yeah. Suspension's right down. Don't want to damage anything on this great big lump here.
That's very grown up.
I know, I'm a good boy. I'm also like to keep an eye on the temperature for the engine. K-series engine, got a nasty habit of overheating.
We could push some buttons. And then unpush that. Well, the lights come on, whether they work or not, I don't know. That works.
Well, that's good. This one works.
What's that? Indicator?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That works.
The wipers don't work.
Do they not?
No, but if you look carefully, there is one position that does work.
Oh, yeah, the off.
The off position. I know that's not the biggest test drive. It's made it this far.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pass.
I've no idea why Will has decided to rob us of the chance of finding out how the car steers, changes gear, rides and sounds. But he's such an awful driver, maybe this is a lucky escape. But despite his early misgivings, he's coming round to liking the MGF, and so am I.
Before we stick it on there...
Should we buy it first? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should.
Good.
Cool.
I agree.
Pete is a nice guy, but now we have to hit him with some difficult numbers.
Looks like you've crashed it. Pete!
Oh,
How
Well,
did you
mate.
get on?
Well, we like it. Of course we liked it. It's
great.
perfect. We want to put it on the trailer. We want to take it home, but we need to know what you want for it.
Oh, right, OK. Well, it's on an auction site at the moment, and so 500 quid, take it off.
500 quid? We haven't even driven it.
But you love it. You've been round it, I saw you.
Easy, Tiger. Gus has brought me down here on the pretext that we're looking at a spares and repairs car for about 250.
You'd be lucky. Right,
Well, I'm feeling lucky.
I couldn't let it go as little as that, I'm afraid.
There are certain things we need to do to it. Would you take 350 quid for it?
Let's see how badly Pete wants the MGF gone.
We're just going to put it back on the road.
We are going to put it back on the road.
And show me some pictures.
Well, we can do that, can't we?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
We can take it away.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. OK, 350.
All right, OK, yeah, yes.
Excellent.
Oh, cool. Brilliant.
We might have to get, yeah.
We're going to have to work out how to get it on the trailer now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cheers, Pete. Pete's advert said the car was for sale elsewhere, so he's reserved the right to end the auction early. Here you are.
Thank you.
So we've done nothing wrong apart from getting a steal of a deal.
Look.
The sun is shining on the MGF's faded red paint. We're feeling all right.
It's back to base we go.
I actually thought it was quite funny being an MGF, but now we've got it, I'm actually genuinely excited about it. I think it's great.
Me too, admittedly, I was a little bit sniffy. It's got a lot of work that needs doing. Good thing is, the majority of that work is not rocket science.
No.
And we've got a very, very cheap car. We like a bit of cheap.
We do like a bit cheap, yeah. This could be someone's pride and joy, couldn't it? It's a fast, zippy, you're sitting right down on the road, so it feels like it's fast. And I was looking here, I reckon it's 1,500 quid's worth of anyone's money. Yeah, I think so. I think so, yeah.
This type of car, the MGF, slipped through the net in this popularity, and it's one that people have probably missed.
We buy cars that no one else is going to buy. That's why we've got it, isn't it?
It sure is. I mean, who else would buy that car?
The day closes well, and the morning after, we have the chance to sleep on our purchase, not literally, and plan our strategy. It's about to rain, so before the MGF goes inside for all that, I'm stealing a moment to sort out the ad for when we sell it.
Or maybe the camera never lies, or maybe I just took the pictures from the right side of the car, but the MGF actually looks okay. So I'm just working out what I'm going to type into the advert. And I think red MGF VVC, good mechanicals, all original, rare aircon, MOT, because of course it will have one by the time we sell it. One owner, last 7 years. And the fact that it's not gone anywhere is on a need-to-know basis. Let's have a look at prices. Let's see, hang on. So, a really good MGF will cost you £3,000, if that's what you want. And a snotter will cost you about £1,000.
On this new day, I can see my previous valuation of 1,500 quid is far too stingy.
So somewhere in the middle, let's say 2,500 as a buy it now price. We'll start the auction at 499. Or is that madness? You know what? I think what I'm going to do is do a fixed price auction. I'm going to do a fixed price at 2,799. I don't know why that figure, but it just feels about right. Or offers. Good.
But my enthusiasm takes a huge knock once the MGF is taken under the lights and its condition is more exposed.
I've got a terrible sinking feeling about this car. Since we've slid this one off the trailer, it looks more like a dead animal.
I think you're just being mean. OK, well, let's look at it. The majority of the work on this car is mechanical. Suspension stuff that I don't think we're going to be able to miss. Engine stuff that we need to be thinking about.
Yep.
And we also don't know anything about the state of play with the cam belt, do we?
The other thing I was thinking is in our exhaustive test drive, we didn't actually get it hot. No. And we know that overheating is a problem with K-series in MGS. But if we ignore the cosmetics, we're mad. So if we ignore the wings, the bonnet, the bumper, the roof, we're going to lose money.
There's also the interior.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That's all the fascias have got to come out, haven't they?
They have, and they've got the air conditioning. Do we know if that works?
Well, if it doesn't, roof comes down.
I like your backup plan.
This is why I'm having a moment. They might be little things, but there's so many things to do to this car.
Don't fret, Gus. We're not aiming for perfection. It's just got to be good enough. I think we just get fired straight into this one.
Yeah, we definitely need to get stuck into it, don't we?
Yeah.
We kick off slightly out of sync in terms of standards and plans. But what we do agree on is that the engine and mechanicals need an overhaul, and it's a good place to start. So we get stripping the trim from the snug mid-mounted engine.
So it seems to me that the one thing we really need to know is whether this has ever overheated and whether the head gasket is blown.
Yes.
Have we still got the flush?
We have, yes, cooling system flushing. So put some of that in there. Bleed the systems out properly, all the way through to the radiator, and then push the car outside, start the engine, run it all up to temperature, check the electric fans coming on at the right time.
Yes.
If it's all working properly, we know this engine's sound.
Yeah, we do it absolutely by the book. And then if it has got a blown head gasket or it does overheat, we know the rest of the engine's clean, don't we?
We do. Engine flush is a chemical which works like hair remover in the sink. It removes debris from the cooling system, which can't function if it's full of sludge.
Have you got the key?
Yes.
Do you want to start it up and we'll get the water circulating?
The engine turning will circulate the flush, and we need to open up the bleed valve to expel the air. And the MGF offers up a nasty coloured liquid.
It's very green, isn't it? Go on, have a sniff and a listen at that.
That looks like neat antifreeze.
I think that maybe is organic, not antifreeze, because look at the way it's coming out. It looks like pond water. Can you see the streaks in it?
Yeah, I wouldn't go licking that. The bright green liquid needs to be bled out.
Stopped hissing.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well, that system fully bled up then, yeah? We ready for our outside test? Can you see where you're going?
Oh. That'd be right, won't it?
Yeah.
It's a great thing about sports cars, isn't it? It's so easy to get in and out of.
Oh, a piece of cake. Well, what do you reckon then? Leave it for half an hour, see if it keeps all its water in, don't overheat?
About time for a cup of tea.
Oh, a nice cup of tea, lovely.
If the MGF overheats now, which is a common issue, then we'll likely have a leaking head gasket. And with all the other jobs on the car, it will certainly mean we've bitten off more than we can chew.
That is amazing. If it was going to overheat, it would have done so by now. So that really puts my mind at rest. We've not got an overheating engine, we've not got a blown head gasket, and we've flushed the coolant system. Let's go home.
No, we have done very well, and it is okay. But I'm thinking, while we're on a roll, should we roll it back indoors, pump up the suspension?
Yeah.
Won't take us very long.
I'll get a tape measure.
Okay, I'll drive it in.
The MGF has hydrogas suspension, which does fail but can be pumped up.
Come on, come in.
If we do that, we can cure our listing MGF and tick off an annoying job on the first day. We've borrowed a machine from Will's mate that allows us to pump up the sphere reservoirs in the system, much easier than replacing a spring. With the height estimated,
Yeah, that's bang on this side.
and the hydraulic pump machine plumbed into the system, it's time to go to work. But the MGF doesn't go up.
Moving, isn't it? Stop! It's pouring out from under here.
Oh, is it?
It's pouring out.
Where's it pour? Oh, crikey. Yeah, that is horrible. Well, all the pipes going to the sphere are completely fine.
It's the sphere, isn't it? I've had enough of this now.
Yeah, right. And there was me thinking this is going to be a quick, heroic job at the end of the day. The hydraulic sphere is a common part that fails, and that is exactly what we've got. Day 2, and we only have 5 days to fix our vehicle. And although we found the MGF engine works, we've discovered the suspension has a fault.
So Will has gone to get us a new suspension sphere for this side. We know that with this car, we have a good engine. We don't have an overheating problem. We don't have to do the head gasket. And that makes a lot of difference for us because it means that we can now crack on with the aesthetic of the car. We might have lucked out a bit here because we've ended up with a VVC car, which is the engine everyone wants, with leather interior, power steering and air conditioning. And this is the MGF that people want to buy. So I think potentially this could be our biggest earner so far, which would be nice.
So as Will was happy to ignore the cosmetics, I'm going to get the wings off and give him the job of sorting out some replacements as a punishment. I'm at a well-known MGF specialist near Grantham. They have a plethora of MGFs, and that is the right collective noun. Oh, hi, you must be Kevin.
Hi, yeah, you must be Will. How you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Wow. That is a lot of beautiful cars out there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just mecca for MGFs. It's amazing.
We've got a few, about 83 currently in stock.
When we got ours, I wasn't really that keen on it, but as we've owned it for a little bit, I'm starting to really quite like it. And I can tell you're obviously a fan of these cars.
They are a great little car, easy to drive, very workable. Home technician can do it, no specialist tools needed, great bit of fun. Drive it to the beach, drive it down to the local pub, spot on.
Yeah. Do you reckon they're on the up and up in the value?
Got to be. They are the last British car to be made. The values can only go up.
That's good news, because we've got a bit of a mission on. Take what is possibly the country's worst MGF and turn it into what we hope is going to be the country's best.
Maybe one of the best, Will, one of the best.
Is that because yours are better? Right, so wings, bonnet,
Sure, yeah.
and a couple of other odds and ends. You know, what have you got here?
We've got everything.
Cool, brilliant.
Follow me. This is where we keep some of the cars we use for parts. Spare parts, spare little nuts and bolts. It's always good when you're rebuilding a car to use the genuine nuts and bolts, and there's no better place to find them than off an old car.
This is a proper good selection, isn't it?
There's a
and I've
few.
already spotted this one, and that looks like exactly what we want.
Great looking wing wheel, but that is CMU solar red. You need COF flame red, which is from an early MGF.
Not that one, then.
That is no good.
Oh, that's a pity.
I've got some used parts in my container. We may have what you're looking for in there.
Cool.
So if you want to head down there, we'll have a look in the container.
Right, let's go and see.
Back in the workshop, I'm hoping Will comes through with the panels and the sphere. And in anticipation, I'm removing the old one.
Well, how easy was that? 4 bolts and a connector and it's off. And it's a clever system. Basically, it's a set of rubber springs and fluid, and the fluid passes through the rubber springs on a set of valves. So when the front wheel is compressed, i.e. goes over a bump, the fluid is dispersed into the interconnecting sphere, which is on the back wheel. So the back wheel, the corresponding wheel, goes down and raises the back up. So it's such a simple system. This one here seems to have had a bit of a prolapse. I think that's one of the valves, and it's pushed the seal off, which is why it's leaking. And so easy to get off. Unlike dealing with springs where you have to have compressors and you have to deal with all that sort of latent energy in springs, which terrifies me. Like I say, clever and incredibly simple. Well, this is off. I'm just waiting for Will to come back with the other one, and I'll put that on. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to dismantle the rest of the car, take the wings off and the bonnet.
This one here, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. You got some bits in there, haven't you?
Yeah, we got a few bits and pieces.
With it being an MGF and not a Ferrari, everything should bolt off, something you don't see anymore. The old pink bonnet does indeed bolt off and is a one-man job.
What we got there? Looking good?
One bonnet, COF, flame red.
COF flame red. That looks really nice. That'll do us.
Yeah?
Yeah. Got any wings then? Well,
One pair of wings, COF red.
it's like Aladdin's cave, isn't it? They're not perfect, but they're certainly good enough for our little car. That's excellent.
Little bit of polish.
Right, 1 mirror.
2 mirrors.
2 mirrors. Perfect.
I'm grateful the MGF is so easy to work on without needing to consult the internet. Once I've managed to get it stripped back inside a day, and since Will isn't here, I'll sneak home a bit early.
So those are the right colour.
Yep, straight on they'll be.
Well, that's everything on the list, isn't it?
Good.
Would you be keen on doing us a lovely deal?
As you'll keep one of our great little cars on the road, let's just call it £150.
The lots,
The lot,
that is a deal.
no problem at all.
I'm a happy boy, thank you. I know Gus will be burning the midnight oil, so I'm going to rush back the 3 hours or so it'll take me and show him what I have got.
Well, hi.
Good morning, Gus.
Did you get everything?
I have, I've done really well. Got the wings.
Yes.
They're quite nice, actually.
Yeah, they look great.
I think that colour to me looks perfect.
Yeah, they're polished up,
Happy with
definitely,
those.
aren't
Got a bit of a deal on a pair of these.
they? Okay.
I thought if the other ones don't polish up,
Yes,
we've got a second option.
yes. Hey!
Ah, ta-da!
Yeah, great.
I know, it's got all of its bits, complete with key that works, which is handy.
Brilliant. And you got a sphere?
I did, yeah. Probably looks better than yours, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one hasn't got a big lump of rubber sticking out, which ours has, and I think ours must have had some proper trauma in its life.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
But that's fantastic.
Whereas that one looks perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
And should we get it all indoors?
Yeah, yes, definitely. You all right with that?
I am all right, yeah. How's it all gone with taking it all apart?
Yeah, it's been all right, actually.
So, I'm starting to feel like we're in a pretty good place at the moment. By the time we got that lot attached to that lot, the car's going to be really, really nice.
We've got potentially a very good car. We've got a VVC engine, which isn't overheating, so we don't have to do the head gasket.
Winner.
We're going to have a car that rides really well, because we're going to put that sphere on there, and doesn't look like a dead animal.
That'll be a real winner.
The bodywork's going to look great. It's going to be a car that we're going to make money on. I'm absolutely sure of that.
Yeah.
So where are we going to go? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
That's the conversation, isn't it?
It
What are we
is.
going to do to make it really stand out?
Now, the hood is really nice. Of course, it's got a couple of little micro holes in it, which I think we can patch from the other side.
Definitely that.
But whilst I was going around the yard collecting those bits, I spotted one of these, or two or three of these, that had glass windows in the back. Rear
Ah,
windows.
yes.
Yeah, electric ones.
Yeah, that is a great idea, because that's going to make such a difference to driving this car, isn't it? Well, I tell you what, why don't I take the hood off, and I'll find someone to do that, and then you could put the sphere on if you wanted to.
I'd like to,
not?
actually, because that looks like a fun job, and I've never messed around with one of those before.
Well, good luck with that, then.
Cheers, mate.
I've got my plan with the roof, but before I can set it into action, I need to make sure it's actually worth the effort.
That is really getting it off.
I basically need to clean it to make it halfway presentable and remove all the grime. Will could learn a thing or two about the value of cleaning something.
It certainly looks better, doesn't it?
Now, the nice thing about the roof already being taken off this car is it gives me really good access to this area. There's a panel under here. I unbolt that. I can access the whole of the engine, which means making the cam belt job a lot easier. But I'm not going to do that job right now because I've got to go reassemble all of that suspension that Gus took to bits earlier.
So this is the original wing that came with our car. The first thing you notice when you walk up to the car, well, the first thing you notice is that the suspension's down, but the second thing you notice is that the whole front of the car has been resprayed and has got this UV damage on it. And I thought it would be interesting, before I yeet this into the skip, that I will show you how it polishes up. So I've put some masking tape on here and I've made a line of delineage here between the UV damaged and then the repolished. And then I've buffed this up and it looks amazing, but the reality is, if you put it up against our factory finished wing, it's actually a different colour. And it may be infinitesimal, but it actually is a different colour red. So this is going in the skip, and these rather beautiful things are going on the car.
Right, that was surprisingly easy to put back together, which is a bit of a relief because Gus took it all to bits. So I can now do up this cover plate. Once that's all done up and the ABS wire is all clipped in, it is ready for the wheels to go back on and then the suspension to be pumped up. But we're not quite ready for that because we need the wings on and stuff. So I'm just going to leave it at that for today and call that a done job, pretty much.
Oh, I'm going to take this and get it looked at.
Cool, OK, I'm going to crack on with these jobs then.
All right. So I'll see you tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, all right then, first thing in the morning. All right, brilliant. Wheels on. Suspension components are all now in place, all the mechanical stuff. I have noticed that the cam belt hasn't been changed. This little sticker down here is telling me that it hasn't been done since 2012. The cam belt, or timing belt, is a common service part that should be replaced every 60,000 miles or so, depending on the car. If it breaks, it will damage the engine, which will literally wipe off half the car's value. It's a labour-intensive job, and a garage would charge you about 300 quid. But if you do it yourself, well, the parts are only 50. So I remove the top cover, take off the HT leads, and the job is well underway. This is where it starts to get interesting, because this engine here is a VVC engine, stands for Variable Valve Control. And on the engine, it says twin cam. That's not actually the case, because there are 3 camshafts inside this engine, and the cam belt has to drive all 3. It goes a bit like this. The primary cam belt, which is driven off the crank, drives this camshaft and this camshaft here. The one at the front of the engine then transfers all the way across to the other side of the engine, where it's got another wheel on it, driving to another belt, to another wheel, to a 3rd camshaft, because this rear one is split in the middle. So there's actually 1, 2, 3 camshafts. I need to whip this cover off and check the secondary cam belt. Really nice to see. That cam belt looks like it's in fantastic condition. That one's ready to be removed, but to gain access to the primary cam belt, it's behind all these covers here. And that is my next little job. And now we find out why the labour charge on a cam belt swap generally runs into hundreds. Getting the lower bolts off the camshaft cover is a pain and involves removing everything you can. In this case, even the engine mounts. It was all going so well, and I thought this job's going to be a piece of cake. But then I'm trying to remove the engine cradle, the bit it's got to come out to get the cam belt out, and it is just impossible to get to, and it is really, really rusty. This is very, very difficult. Oh, yes. Finally, we had some success. Oh, that is hilarious. This lovely little job is turning into a right little headache.
Now it's my turn to shine. The MGF is a better spec'd car than we thought, and I'm carrying on in that vein and adding extra spec that'll get it noticed in the marketplace and win us a higher price too. So I've come to a local MG garage which is known to offer some nice upgrades that we can use. Yorkie and his team offer a service to replace the plastic rear window for a glass one. It makes the cabin quieter and more secure, and you can see out of it more of the time as it's heated.
All right, Yorkie?
Hello, Gus.
We're doing an MGF, and we've come for one of your upgrades.
Yes, the glass window.
Yes. Our car is sound, but something like this is really going to make it stand out, isn't it?
A lot of difference.
Is it all right doing it with it off the car?
Yeah, a little bit harder to do, but we can do it.
So I'll leave you to crack on with it?
Yeah, let's crack on.
Can I watch?
Yeah, of course you can.
Excellent, good.
So we drill out the rivets, knock out the heads, then the plastic window retaining frame will come away.
Like that, and it just pops off, and then the hood just lifts off, and that's it.
So what are we doing next?
Well, we're gonna flip it over,
Yeah.
like this. Flip it over.
It's heavier than you think, isn't
It is heavier than you think. So we undo the zip, like that, and pull it away. You know, Gus, put that over there, mate.
Thank you.
That's the last one out.
OK, new glass?
New glass on the counter, Gus.
Ooh, look at that. That is going to look
Ooh.
so smart,
That's
isn't
going to
it?
be nice, yeah.
That way around?
Yeah, that way around. So unzip that.
Right out.
Right out. Right, we've got to see if the zips match.
Do you mean sometimes they don't match up?
Sometimes they don't match up, and if they don't match up, got a nightmare of a job to strip the hood apart.
No.
Yeah.
How much longer?
About 2 to 3 hours.
So it easily doubles the job.
Easy doubles the job.
Let's have a look then. Yes, it's
And we're
match up.
matching, so
Excellent.
we're lucky.
So it's just luck whether these match up.
Pure luck.
Wow.
this is absolute madness. Just when you think you've got all of the big nuts and bolts out, which are really difficult to get to, there's a little safety feature that stops it all from falling apart just in case a nut falls off. So I thought I was there, but I'm not. Seriously. Not enjoying this job. Oh. Oh, yes! That was a pure fluke. I thought I was going to have to strip down the whole thing, but it turns out when you can't undo that nut and you force it, it just falls out on its own. Now, that is a winner. And then we get to see all of the cam belts, these plastic covers. If I remove those, I can get to the cam belts. Changing the cam belts from here on in should be a lot easier than getting that engine mount out.
You can already see how much better it's going to look.
Yeah, it does look nice, doesn't it? This is the fun bit. This is the bit I like the most.
See whether it's been cut properly.
Yeah. And then we put the bar in. It's very tight, very tight. This is why you need the holes in the hood, so you get the tension right.
But that must be a nightmare doing it without.
Very, very hard. Because if you do it off on the car, you've
never
got
gonna
to
be
drill them
stretched
yourself,
right.
and it won't be stretched right.
No.
These are the pot rivets.
I wanted an expert to do this, as hoods can be notoriously hard to finish properly. Mine and Will's clumsy fingers would be no good. I'm paying £375 all in, which is a deal price.
It's got to be a nice one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about the same price as the car, but it will make it sell faster, and that's worth a lot. And who knows, maybe we'll get the stupidly high asking price I put on the ad.
Well, that's good to see. The primary driving belt looks really nice and new as well, just like the other one, but it needs doing. When you change the timing belt, the actual shaft can't move, or that will throw the timing out. I don't have a locking tool for this car, which I need, but I do have some spare metal in the workshop and a decent welder. That's me. Tool is finished. Keep them simple, I say. This one, I've just drilled out one of the nuts, so that now slides up and down in there. I'm going to slide this between the wheels into the teeth very, very carefully. And then this screw here can tighten down and lock it in position, so the wheels are now firmly locked. Look at that. After all that hard work, with all the difficult to get to bolts and the engine mount problems and all of that, taking off the belt is the easiest bit. And now, with its new belts and the new water pump as well, all I need to do is fill in the little sticker, put it on the front saying that I changed the cam belt, put the mileage on there and the date. And with all these jobs sorted, we know we can now sell this car with confidence. And we're done.
So Gus, you come round and do the last two, mate?
Nah, go on, you do 'em.
All right, then.
I'll only break something if I do.
With the last of the pot rivets done, the roof is transformed.
Sorted.
Fantastic. Look at that. That looks great, doesn't it?
Very nice.
The only problem is it makes the old one look a bit second-hand, doesn't it?
Bit of warm soapy water. That'll clean it up nice.
Will it?
Yeah, very nice.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, if we get an extra 500 quid because we've got a glass screen in there, I'll come back with a bottle of wine.
I look forward to that.
Thank
Now you
very
take care and
much.
take it steady.
Talk to you later.
Bye for now.
Day 5. Yes, it's the last one we've got, and yes, it's a biggie.
Well, it still looks absolutely awful, doesn't it? Day 5, and it's the worst it's looked.
Yeah, well, we have spent all week taking it to bits. Couple of hours work, wings on, bonnet on. This car's going to start to look great.
Yeah. I was thinking last night, isn't it amazing that this car sat for 7 years simply because of the trauma that that shock absorber had? So one big bang, and then it's uneconomical for them to get it fixed. But that led to us picking up a car for next to nothing, which is a really good car.
It is a lovely car, and it's been pretty cheap to fix as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's been a nice bit of learning.
We need to polish it, luster the hood, clean the wheels, clean the tyres, so that the first person that comes to see it thinks, best MG I've ever seen.
I'm slightly worried by what you're saying here, because all that cleaning and polishing, I know that your level of...
I have got a high lustration threshold.
You do. I might have to follow your lead a bit.
Well, we need to crack on because there's a lot to do.
We do. Yeah.
Tea.
Definitely.
With precision akin to brain surgery and pace as yet unseen in our new workshop, we rise to a steep challenge.
Right, it's starting to come into place now. We do not stop. We do not question, because everything is at stake. And does the new sphere work? I am waiting eagerly to see this move. We've got no movement here yet. Oh, I think we might have moved.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, it's moving.
We're moving. Oh, yeah. Get in there. I reckon one more pump, Gus, one more. Okay. Whoa, that's it. Perfect. Yes. Now that is exactly 13 and a half. Oh, wait for me.
Heavier than you think.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, that's a long bolt. Done.
Lovely. That's better. Much tighter. Huh?
That's as tight as a drum, isn't it?
It is. Look at that. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, it actually does look fantastic.
It makes the car look really nice and modern. Gus will not stop going on about the hood. Using saddle soap to clean these seats, because saddle soap's exactly the right thing for leather. It gets in there, it washes it really nicely, it doesn't damage the finish on the leather at all.
We do a little bit of polishing with a helping of spit. It looks like we're there. The MGF was £350. Will spent £150 on panels and bits, and our consumables bill came to £200. The back window was £375. So the MGF owes us £1,075.
Now, I know we're in the business of making money,
Sometimes.
but I really do feel like we've had a real bonus this time.
Yeah, I agree.
We get to drive around in an open-top British sports car, wind in our hair.
Your hair. But that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted in the first place.
It was,
an
yeah.
open-top British sports
Yeah,
car.
and we'll get the wall of the engine too. This is going to be fabulous.
I think it's funny because I was only looking for MGFs for a joke because you said you wanted a classic British sports car.
Yeah.
But it's worked out all right, hasn't it?
It has.
Because
This is the
yeah,
one.
And we've done well by this car because for the price we paid, most people would think this would be in a scrapyard by now.
Well, if a car's supposed to be in a scrapyard, it should be in a scrapyard. But this one, we had the opportunity to give it a second chance.
Yeah. It's definitely dawned on me since we've been working on it how good this car was and how little money we paid for it. It's got all the right parts for it, hasn't it? And that sort of epiphany that actually it's not just an MGF, it's the MGF that people will want. But it looks fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, it genuinely looks great.
I'm really, really pleased with the way it's come out.
How are people on the auction?
Right, OK, so here's the thing. People are looking at MGFs, and they are looking at this MGF, but nobody actually wants to view it yet.
I think if someone came and saw it, they'd like it. They'd probably get a biscuit, which would be good. But I'm not worried because it's going to find its home, isn't it?
I mean, really, I don't like to use this line, but this car should sell itself. Look at it, it's gorgeous. Shall we,
Oh, we should, shouldn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you driving?
Wow.
Cozy. So, Mr. Trickett, how do you find the MGF?
Well, I quite like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. We spent all that time getting it from being a dead animal sitting on its haunches to being an actual driving car, and you like it? Well done, us!
It's quite light. It's nimble. But what I'm really, really noticing is it's pretty zippy.
Zippy!
Jimmy, it's got the VVC engine.
Yep.
Variable valve control, which means that when you give it a bit of welly, it picks up its petticoat and it squirts along really quite nicely.
It does what Rover and MG set out to do. It's a car for all seasons, isn't it? I also think we should take a moment to revel in this MG because we've done it proud, haven't we? I think we've taken this and turned it into a proper cruiser, haven't we? It's cool.
We're here in our classic British sports car, and I feel going around these cobble streets, we just fit in perfectly. You know, almost like furniture. whilst doing a suspension check on the work that we've done.
Very much a suspension check.
Well, I think we've done very well with it.
Yeah, well, if we sell it.
That's the thing, it's all about the sale.
We do sneak the price down to 2,750. And hey-ho, a buyer comes all the way down from the north for our first viewing.
Ah, you must be Paul.
Hi.
Hello, mate. I'm Gus. Pleased to meet you.
Hi, Gus.
Hi, I'm Will.
I will.
Good day to you.
You okay?
Apparently you've had quite a long journey down here today to see this.
Yeah, I have. I've come all the way from York.
Wow.
Did you come on the train?
I did.
Is it rude to ask whether you've got a return ticket or not?
I have, yes.
We better sharpen up our sales skills then, haven't we? Well, is there anything about the car that you don't already know that we can tell you?
No, it is a top-range model, though, isn't it?
Yeah, for this year, it doesn't get any more topper than this. It's got VVC engine, power steering, it's got
Air conditioning.
air conditioning, yeah.
Yeah.
Does the air conditioning work?
Yes, it does. We've run it all up, tested it all, and it's all okay and ready for action.
You can guarantee that because my wife insists that this car must have air conditioning.
Ah, are you buying it for your wife?
No, this is my midlife crisis, but she's the boss.
Well, here you are. This is your midlife crisis waiting to happen. What do you reckon?
It looks lovely.
I mean, it rides and drives very well, doesn't it?
We've run it all up, we've taken it for a good road test, and this car is ready to go now.
Okay.
Basically, everything that would worry you about buying an MGF worried us when we bought this one, we've done, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Big positive. But we are here to do a deal. We've got other people interested, but if you want to do some sort of deal, then we can facilitate that.
Yeah.
Well, it's got everything that my wife stipulated.
Which is good news.
That is good news.
However, I only have 2.5 on me, I'm afraid. But it's in my pocket. I can pay you now.
Well, I think it's up for 2,750, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, I think that's pretty close, isn't it? I think it's close enough.
I think it's close enough, and you seem like a very nice man, so let's say yes, shall we?
Yeah,
Excellent. Fantastic.
Definitely.
Very
Great.
kind of you guys.
Excellent.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much indeed.
Well, shall I go and put the kettle on, and we can sort out a bit of paperwork?
Yeah, you have a poke around. We'll have a cup of tea. Do you want a cup of tea?
I'd love one.
Go. How'd you have it?
Black, 1 sugar. Cheers.
See you in a moment.
Right, thank you very much.
And Paul's midlife crisis means we've netted more than double our outlay. More than we expected, but exactly what we deserve.